This video is going to help us learn the proper pronunciation of the Hebrew blessings just prior to the Shabbat Amidah. In the Siddur on page 417, this would be, of course, the traditional Siddur, we have the blessing of the Shema, the conclusion of the Shema with the blessing of the Tzitzit. Followed by that, we have the blessing of Yatziv, which is in certain establishment during and fair and faithful, etc., in which we release our tzitzit, and the Hazan concludes that blessing. We turn the page to page 419, actually it's 418, and the women's siddur, it's going to be page 404. And at this point, the Hazan leads us and invites us to stand, actually. We stand, we face the ark, and we have these preliminary blessings just prior to the Amidah, which are actually said in Hebrew, which we see on this page here. What is being said by the Hazan is, praise the supreme God, the blessed one who is blessed. Moshe and the children of Israel exclaimed a song to you with great joy, and they all said, and then we all say this line, who is like you among the heavenly powers, Adonai? Who is like you, mighty in holiness, too awesome for praise and doing wonders? Then Hazan repeats this and says, or doesn't repeat, he continues and says, with a new song, the redeemed ones praised your name at the seashore, all of them in unison gave thanks, acknowledged your sovereignty, and said, and we all say, Adonai shall reign for all eternity. Sounds easy enough, and it is, except that this is all done in Hebrew at this point in the service. So the Hazan cants this quite beautifully, which I'm not going to do here. I'm just going to simply help us to read the Hebrew, because that's what's on the screen, and more importantly, that's what's in our siddur, and everybody is strongly encouraged to use your siddur as opposed to utilizing the monitors. The monitors are just there for people who are brand new and so on. So if we look at this page, I've highlighted the part that we say, which I would encourage you to do as well in your own siddur. So the Hazan is going to say this part. He's going to, as I said, he's going to cant it. Tehilot le'el elyon, baruch hu v'rach, Moshe v'nei Yisrael lecha anu, shira b'shemcha rabbah, ve'amru kulam. And then we all say this right here, and I'm just going to read it as opposed to trying to point it, because sometimes I shake, I'm missing it somewhat. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But this is what it says. Mi kamocha ba'alim Adonai. Mi kamocha nedar bekodesh, nora tehilot ose fele. Then the Hazan continues. Notice these little diamonds here. These diamonds indicate Hazan only. When you see that in your siddur on the Hebrew side, this is what it means. So the Hazan would say, Shira chadasha shimchu geolim leshimcha el safat chayom yachad kulam chodul vehimlaku ve'emru. So whenever you hear the word ve'emru, we are all supposed to say, Adonai yimlok leolam va'ed. So let's look at these two lines again. This is again right before the Amidah of Shabbat, and we say, Mi kamocha ba'alim Adonai, Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot ose fele. And then the second line is, Adonai yimlok leolam va'ed. From here, we would turn the page, and the Hazan, going up to the top, would actually say this line in Hebrew. Notice let me get a little better angle on the camera there. Notice the diamonds. So the Hazan would, this is the Zur Israel, which is Rock of Israel, arise to the aid of Israel, and liberate as you pledge Judah and Israel. Our Redeemer, Adonai, Master of Legions is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Blessed are you, Adonai, who redeems Israel. So the Hazan is going to say this in Hebrew, of course. Zur Israel kuma bezrat Israel, ufidei can make a Yehud of Israel, go'elenu Adonai zavod shmo, kadosh Israel, baruch ata Adonai, gael Israel. And then, of course, we prepare for the Amidah. We take 3 steps back and then 3 steps forward, and we begin the Amidah. This, of course, is on page 406 in the women's siddur, and 420 here in the traditional siddur. So those are the blessings. Let's just look at them one more time just because we're here. Mi kamocha ba'alim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar bekodesh, nora tehilot oseh fele. And then Adonai yimlok le'olam va'ed. Perfect. So now in Shabbat, we can all say this in unison, and it'll be absolutely perfect.